The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao, AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tucker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hey, Peg.
So lovely to have voodoo priestess Sallie Ann Glassman back, and very much a civic activist, too. And she'll tell us all about the St. John's Eve ceremony that's coming up. Good to see you, dear. Hello. Hi. And Phillip Manuel. It's so nice to see Phillip. He is performing this weekend twice locally, and he's busy bee. Glad to have you with us. And Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com.
This is the Jewish side of the table today.
That's right. Poppy, a nod to Mid-City.
Well, brunch, you know, people just can't get enough brunch, and everybody's serving brunch, but I have a really special brunch for you, and the name of the place is Full Blast Brunch, so how could you go wrong? Chef Christopher Ballou has some incredible treats for you. He did some time at Commander's Palace and at the Grill Room, and so he's highly qualified, and his crab cakes with remoulade sauce are really something special. They've been very popular, and he's got just great seafood dishes. How about crawfish and grits? Nobody ever served me that at brunch before, so they are right there on the corner of North Cortez and Cleveland.
Well, actually, South Cortez.
Oh, sorry. Yikes.
That's okay.
Thank you,
That's
Peg.
all
Right behind Mandina's.
That's the best way, yes.
So anyway, give it a try. It's wonderful. And then, you know, Donald Link is having so much fun at Chemin à la Mer in the Four Seasons. And the bar there is called Friends of the Purple Grackle. Or it's the Purple Grackle, but he's bringing in all his friends, actually, because once a month, now through August, he's having guest bartenders in. And so Neil Bodenheimer from Cure is going to be there in July. And then perfect in August, Jeff Beach Bum Berry from Latitude 29 will be, I'm sure, making some very tropical things. These events have two seatings at 5 and 7. It involves 2 cocktails and a nibble for $65, and it's gorgeous up at Chemin à la Mer, and Donald will be hanging around with his friends, so go. And speaking of tropical treats, Nina Compton is planning a rum dinner at Compère Le Pen next Tuesday night. That's June the 27th, and it's going to be 4 courses with cocktail pairings. So Compère Le Pen is such a comfortable, cool, lovely place. Nina's food is always delicious, and these rum cocktails are going to be super good. So that is a really fun time, and it's not like a one-time seating. You can just go anytime during the night.
That's a good deal, too.
Yeah, yes, for Nina Compton, James Beard Award winner. And then, you know, here we are right in the midst of Restaurant Week. And I wanted to mention what Seaworthy is doing for Restaurant Week, because I love Seaworthy. That it is such a special, intimate place. You just feel like you've traveled back in time. They're doing 3 courses for $59. You start off off with a half dozen oysters. You move on to beet-cured cobia and their seaworthy roll, which is a crawfish take on a lobster roll. How could that be bad? And the dessert, a panna...
Starving.
Yeah, I know. Look at that cobia. Isn't it beautiful? And dessert is a panna cotta snowball. So, so go to Seaworthy. You'll enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Well, Phillip, it's great to have you with us. And
Good to
yes,
be here.
you're going to be busy on Saturday and Sunday. Let's talk about those. Sunday, you're going to be at BK House on
Correct.
Chartis.
Right.
And what are you going to be singing?
I'm going to be doing just a lot of my favorite songs. I want to really relax on Sunday and just do songs that I've enjoyed doing over the years. I'll do stuff from my Nat King Cole show.
Ooh.
I may do a few things from my Beatles show, and then just some of my originals that are on my records. Just going to relax and have fun.
Well, speaking of originals, you were very kind enough to come on by our studios a little bit earlier today and perform with Mike Pellera accompanying you and set up this first song that we'll hear.
Well, my wife hates this story, but I was in my lawyer's office, her first cousin, I didn't know this at the time, literally signing my divorce papers, and she walked in. And I wrote a song about that meeting called Love Happened to Me. That song became the title track for my Max Jazz CD. And that's pretty much the story. She hates it, but that's a true story.
Wow. Well, let's hear this song right now. Take it away.
Cupid's arrow missed its mark, and I sighed with relief. Don't need love to make my life complete. But how could I know when you walked in? Well, at most I thought that we'd be friends. But your eyes were distracting, and while I couldn't see, love happened to me. I've been in love and I've lost in love, a tragic denouement. No thanks, not for me, I've gotta run. But I ran right into you, faced with love like this, what could I do? Your smile was so breathtaking, while I couldn't speak, love happened to me. But I ran right into you, faced with love like this, what could I do? Your smile was so breathtaking, while I couldn't speak, love happened to me.
All right. And an unforgettable evening with Phillip Manuel. Sunday. That's this Sunday, of course, at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5:30 at BK House right there on Charter Street. And you can BYO if you want to. There are also some refreshments, but if you want to bring your favorite bottle of wine, that's fine too. But what a lovely, lovely setting right across from Ursuline Convent. And to learn more about Phillip, you can go to his Facebook, or you can go to his yahoo.com or a phone number, all of those good things. But Phillip, you have performed over the years. I think of you as a little kid, and I know you're not, but you've been around, okay? I mean, my goodness, Alan Toussaint, Patti LaBelle, and you grew up across the street from the Neville brothers?
Grew up on Vallon Street, across the street from the Neville family. As I was saying earlier, Aaron and I, my first wife was Aaron's wife's sister.
Goodness.
That was the divorce time.
That was the first one. But you call yourself a portfolio person because not only do you write and and produce and sing, but you do lots of different things too.
Do a little
act,
PR work.
narrate.
I act. I do a lot of narration. A lot of voiceover work here in town for radio and TV.
I can't imagine why. You have
And
a beautiful
I
voice.
write and produce a lot of radio and TV spots here in town.
Very good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And we'll talk a little bit about your other gig this weekend as well.
All right.
Thank you. And Sallie Ann, talk about a busy bee. But Friday night, you will continue this tradition on the Bayou St. John, that is. Set that up for us.
So talk about unforgettable evenings. Every year we celebrate St. John's Eve, which celebrates the birth of John the Baptist, the wild man in the wilderness who baptized people in the Jordan River, including Jesus. And there was a very famous voodoo priestess in New Orleans named Marie Laveau, who, 300 years into our history is still probably the most famous citizen to ever come out of New Orleans. She was a phenomenal priestess. She was also a devout Catholic. She was best friends with Père Antoine at St. Louis Cathedral. She tended to yellow fever victims, and she held magnificent ceremonies.
And tell us about the ritual here.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the course of this? And this is right near the Magnolia Bridge, we should point out.
Yeah, we
Not far from the
hold a what's called a head washing ceremony, which is a form of voodoo baptism.
And you're wearing white?
And everybody wears white that comes to it. And we hold it in honor of Marie Laveau. You can see the beautiful statue of Marie Laveau that Ricardo Pistanio created for this event every year. And we have people from all walks of life show up with offerings. She likes white and blue flowers and Creole food and voodoo-esque things like potions and voodoo dolls. And we sing traditional sacred voodoo songs in Haitian Creole. We have magnificent drummers who play the traditional Haitian rhythms, which are really complex and hard to master, and these guys are great. And we dance and sing and serve spirit and call on spirits, and we wash the heads of everyone. And having your head washed is really refreshing and renewing. This comes at the time of the summer solstice and ideas of renewal and refreshing. You wake up the next morning, it's hard to explain, but you just feel great.
And this is, folks start gathering a little bit before 7? Well, you start at 7.
We will
so
start
gather
at 7
earlier,
p.m.
actually, to get a good view. Huh?
Actually start on time,
Yes.
which is something people should know.
Very unusual.
So
And
don't
for more-
snooze.
Yeah, and more details, islandofsalvationbotanica.com, and there's a phone number there as well. But Sallie Ann, you, I so appreciate your generosity of spirit because not only do you, in what you do, you're trying to help people, but you also very much are part of this community too. The Healing Center is quite the special place, and we'll discuss that a little bit later too. But all of that coming together, it's if you've not seen this ritual, it's really fascinating, and it touches everybody's religion. It's not like you have to be, a voodoo priestess to enjoy this.
Absolutely do not, and it's open to the public, and it's totally free, and it's made up. The ceremony is actually made up by the people who come and participate. It's everybody's energy put together, and it's beautiful. We just love doing this ceremony every year.
And we're glad you're here. And moving over to Alan.
Well, in just a year, the Crescent City Stage has garnered quite a reputation as the city's top promoter of actors' equity. And their latest production, which you can see here, is Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. It continues that tradition that they've started, basically having a number of actors' equity people in there, a growing trend that unfortunately is not being echoed by a lot of other people because of the rising costs for equity actors. But the level of performance is worth what you get with their work. Christopher Durang's very funny Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike is really the greatest example of this. Here we see Yana Mostecki and Doug Spearman, who are Sonia and Vanya, respectively. Almost all of the characters' names, by the way, are based on famous Chekhov characters. Lorene Chesley, who we see here in the foreground, playing, yes, of course, Snow White. She is a famous actress who owns the house where her parents once lived and her sister and brother who had cared for them. Their housekeeper is Cassandra, who is a clairvoyant and a practitioner of, yes, Sally, voodoo. Cassandra is played by Danya Asante. They are playing the role as a non-binary performer, but they're very funny no matter what pronoun they are using. And Masha's boy toy, you can see, is Spike, played by Cody Evans, who befriends a starstruck Nina, played by Yvette Bourgeois. Both have great comedy chops. But if you've never seen this show, it's really very much about family and dealing with dysfunction on a Chekhovian scale. Vanya is gay, Sonia is lonely and repressed, Masha is living in an unrealistic world of her own making, and Spike is her latest example of all of that. You can go see this very well-directed play by Liz Elkins Newcomer, running Thursday through Sunday until June the 30th. That's going to be, of course, at the Marquette Theater on the Loyola University campus. Now, there's also a world premiere, Peggy. This is going to absolutely enthrall people who are Tennessee Williams fans. It's called Miss Rose. Now, it's at the Maroney Opera House, and the world premiere going on right now. It started last Saturday. For the Tennessee Williams fans, they will not want to miss this. It's all about Miss Rose. That, of course, is Tom Lanier Williams' sister, Tom Lanier Williams' the third sister. Rebecca Gilbo, who we see here, does a lot of original songs and music composed by Christopher Winslow, with book and lyrics and direction by Kenny Prestonizzi and Alston Brown as the assistant director. Alston also plays Jerry in the play. This is based on Tennessee's sister, who was, of course, institutionalized, and most of her adult life was in an institution following a botched lobotomy back in 1943. And even though she was the older sister, she lived until 1996, and she lived 13 years past her famous brother, who died in 1983. Miss Rose is all about a cabaret taking place behind the walls of the home where she's staying while her brother visits her. And there's a lot of issues, of course, between the two, but at the heart of their relationship is a deep and abiding love. It's a pretty brilliant concept, and it really works. The piano accompaniment is by Audrey Smith, and as with any cabaret act, there is banter between the songs. The words and music can at times be lighthearted or poignant, while touching on Rose's mental state or even dealing with subjects like Marlon Brando, misery, and the Nobel Prize. You have to see it to believe it. This cabaret does need some trimming, though. I will say it needs really to be pared down to a little bit over an hour, because right now it runs about an hour and a half without intermission. But by the way, audience members can enjoy Nilla cookies, Nilla vanilla cookies, and lemonade or water. But this is not a work for the kids, trust me. Miss Rose will travel around the country a bit before ending up next year at the Tennessee Williams Theater Festival in Provincetown. I hope that we Tennessee Williams Festival fans in New Orleans will get to see it as well. Again, playing at the Maroney Opera House Thursday through Saturday
But good
at
for
8
them,
o'clock.
though. They're trying something totally fresh, something totally new.
Absolutely.
And poor Rose, always so tragic.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
They would make a cabaret out of it,
Yeah.
Now, this weekend, the Treehouse Players' Rapunzel returns to New Orleans. I say it returns to New Orleans. Guess what, Peggy? It premiered back in 1993 at the old True Brew Theater. So this is their 30th anniversary. Rapunzel stars Ashley Smetherman-Lemler, Maria Hefty, Stephen Denning, Brandon Marquez, and Kelly Lanes as Rapunzel. It's playing at the Lanyap Theater at the Rivertown Theaters for the Performing Arts, and is directed and designed by Eddie Cox. So go check that out as well. And again, if you get a chance to think about what you're going to do for the 4th of July, it's not far off now. I want to let everybody know that if you have not made plans, think about the National World War II Museum in July to check out some of the things they have going on there, especially the Walt Disney and World War II exhibit. If you haven't seen that yet, and it's going to come, of course, from California. It's here now, been here for a couple of months, but go check it out before it leaves. But I want to tell everybody that admission price is half price off for all Louisiana residents with state ID. So if you go on July the 4th, you get to see that. Plus, they also have some other things that are going on, like the Expressions of America. You get half price off of that. Again, that's on Saturday, July the 9th, and Monday, July the 11th. So check that out. All the museums pretty much are participating in this, including the New Orleans Museum of Art. And also, on July the 4th itself, the Victory Bells will be singing their way into your hearts, songs of World War II. It's a 30-minute program called Victory Bells Vignette. yet. That's at 1 o'clock on July the 4th. Go check that out as well.
All right, thank you so much. Woo. Sounds good.
Wow.
And time for our picks, Poppy.
Well, first, a Tujague's tradition since 2013. We'll be having the first of our summer's Poppy Pop-Up Drag Brunches this Sunday. There's a few seats available, and I hope to see everybody there. And then it's Restaurant Week, but this isn't on the website. Milkfish, which I know you and I loved when it was on Carrollton, is popping up now through Sunday from noon until 9 p.m. at the Bywater Brew Pub down on Royal Street, so don't miss it.
Yes, and it's Philippine food, isn't it? Milkfish.
Yes,
Philippine. Yeah, I love the flavors in that too. Yeah, I miss it. I remember Milkfish used to be there.
I love Milkfish, but Christina Quackenbush, she is a rock star, and I ate there last night, and it is delicious. Don't miss it.
Good, good. And by the way, I went to your mom and dim sum the other.
Yum.
Wonderful, right there at Norman C. Francis. It's holy ground. It's it's in the Irish pub.
Right.
So interesting. And Canal. Don't miss that. And turning to Sallie Ann and back to the beautiful Marie Laveau statue.
Yes, and this week and every week I invite everybody to come down to the New Orleans Healing Center just outside the door of my shop, the Island of Salvation. We have the International Shrine to Marie Laveau featuring not one but two spectacular statues made entirely out of paper by Riccardo Pustanio. He gave me those statues for St. John's Eve, and they're so large that I had no place to put them but the back door of my shop. And people started bringing her offerings and candles and bringing prayers to her, so we built this shrine for her where people continue to bring offerings and prayers, and everyone's welcome to do the same.
Very dear. And concerning your Botanica, tell us the kinds of things that you sell, because I know you also sell artwork too.
We sell Haitian artwork and my own artwork. Many of the things in our shop are made by me. There's candles and oils and incense and powders and potions and everything a person could need to make an approach to spirit.
Sounds good. Philip.
My pick of the week. Oh, this is my time. Oh, okay. My pick of the week is my performance Saturday, June 24th at Snug Harbor. I have two shows. At 8 and 10, I'll be performing with it'll be a quintet. Mike Pellera on piano, my musical director and best friend. Simon Lott on drums, Max Moran on bass, and the fabulous Tony DeGrati on saxophone.
Wow.
So if you can get out, I'd love to see your face in the place.
Yeah, and of course, as we said, Mike was on piano earlier.
Yes,
we'll see in just a moment. But he is the head of the music department at NOCA.
Of the Jazz Studies Department.
Wow.
Busy guy.
Yeah, busy guy. Alan.
Well, congratulations to 30 by 90 Theater. I have to tell you, I didn't even get a chance to mention their show of the producers, and the entire run has now been sold out, so congratulations to them. Wow. Meanwhile, though, the River Region Performing Arts and Cultural Center will be presenting You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. That's based, of course, on the characters created by Charles Schulz in the popular comic strip. There's a lot of really great songs in there, including Happiness Is, that some of you all remember, the title song written by Charles Gesner, and it was revised, by the way, by Andrew Lippa back in 1999, and I hope you get to see it, and I'll see you at the theater.
Very good. And my pick on Wednesday at the New Orleans Museum of Art, Rosary Hartel O'Neill. Of course, we all remember Rosary from the theater and the founder of Southern Theater. And of course, Rory O'Neill Schmidt, her daughter, have collaborated on a book about Edgar Degas' experiences in New Orleans. And so this book is, the subject of their book is Mr. Degas, and they'll get together and talk. The signing's at 5:30 at NOMA, the talk's at 6, and they'll also sign after the talk as well. But two talented ladies, I'm telling you. And on Wednesday, Louisiana residents receive free admission courtesy of the Hellas Foundation at NOMA. So go to noma.org for details. And before we leave you, though, let's hear once again from Philip. Set up the song that we're going to hear.
Well, this is Don't Get Around Much Anymore, which is a Duke Ellington song. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. It's easy to sing. I love singing it. And we've got Mike Pellera on piano, and we're going to just kind of take you out with that.
Yes, and on Sunday at BK House, are you singing any Nat King Cole?
I'll be doing some of my Nat King Cole show there. I know that Sandra wants to hear Unforgettable, so I've got to make sure to include that in the set.
Well,
for
thank
sure.
you all very much, and thank you for watching. Good night.
All right. Mr. Saturday Dance, heard they crowded the floor, couldn't bear it without you, I don't get around much anymore, thought I'd visit a club, I got as far as the door, and I thought they'd ask me about you, I don't get around much anymore. Oh, darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up memories? Been invited on dates, might have gone, but what for? It's awfully different without you. I don't get around much anymore. Oh, darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up memories? Been invited on dates, might have gone, but what for? It's awfully different without you. I don't get around much anymore. It's awfully different without you. I don't get around no more.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao! AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.